All right, today we are diving into a skill that, I'm not kidding, has become a genuine superpower in our modern world, the ability to actually focus. But let me ask you this. Does this sound familiar? You sit down, you're ready to work on something really important, and then an hour goes by. And what have you done? You've answered a bunch of emails, you've scrolled through social media, but you've made zero progress on the thing that actually matters. So why? Why is it so ridiculously hard to get anything done? Well, it turns out you're not just imagining things. We are living through a kind of perfect storm. We've got this massive shift in the economy that rewards a very specific type of skill. And it's happening at the exact same time that our ability to develop that skill is being, well, systematically destroyed. So let's unpack that, okay? We're going to start with the huge economic shifts that are happening right under our noses. You know, economists have this name for what we're going through. They call it the Great Restructuring. Now, it sounds kind of fancy, but it's really a simple and honestly a slightly terrifying idea. It means that intelligent machines and technology are advancing so fast that most people's skills just can't keep up. And what this does is it creates this massive split in the job market, a divide between the people who are thriving and the people who are getting left behind. So who actually wins in this new economy? Well, the research points to three very specific groups. You've got your high-skilled workers, the ones who can actually work with all this complex new tech. You've got the superstars, who are just the absolute best of the best in what they do. And then, of course, you have the owners of capital, the folks who are funding it all. This really frames the most important question for the rest of us. How do we join one of those groups? And this is where the paradox comes in. Just when we need to be learning these really valuable, complex skills, our workplaces seem like they're designed to stop us. Think about it. Open offices with constant interruptions, a message and culture that demands you're always on, always available. It all creates this environment where just looking busy becomes more important than actually being productive. Okay, so if the economy is demanding this whole new level of skill, but our environment is fighting us every step of the way, what's the answer? Well, it's a concept called deep work. Deep work really is the superpower for our age. And look, it's not about working longer hours. It's about focusing with real intensity, with zero distractions, on a single, tough task. This is the mental state where you learn hard things fast and you produce work that is just of the highest quality and value. And this slide, this just highlights the difference so perfectly. Deep work, it's hard, it's demanding, but it creates new, unique value. Shallow work, on the other hand, answering emails, going to status meetings, it's easy, it's logistical, but it doesn't create much of anything. One is rare and super valuable in this new economy. The other is common, easy to automate, and frankly, it's quickly becoming worthless. And here's the real kicker. Deep work is the engine that develops the exact two abilities you need to thrive today. One, the ability to master hard things quickly, and two, the ability to produce work at an elite level. This isn't just some nice-to-have skill. It is the direct path to becoming one of those high-skilled workers or superstars we were just talking about. Okay, so that's the why. We get it. It's important. But what about the how? How do you actually do it? Well, the source material breaks this down into 4 really practical rules. The rules are surprisingly simple, but man, they require discipline. So rule number 1, work deeply. This is all about building strict routines and rituals, like scheduling these intense blocks of work to make focus a regular habit, not just something that happens by accident. Rule 2 is embrace boredom. This is about retraining your brain. By just letting yourself be bored sometimes, you weaken that twitchy impulse to always grab for a distraction, and you make your focus muscles stronger. Rule 3, quit social media, is basically a call to be absolutely ruthless with your attention. You start treating it like a professional craftsman treats their tools. You only use the ones that give you a massive, clear benefit for the things you value. And finally, rule number 4, drain the shallows, is about systematically cutting down on all those low-value logistical tasks that just eat up your day and steal time away from what actually matters. So let's look at a really practical example of that last rule, draining the shallows. This is a technique called time blocking, and it just shows the concept so well. So instead of a simple to-do list, you actually schedule every single minute of your workday. Now, it's not about being super rigid, it's about being intentional. You're telling your time exactly where to go instead of getting to the end of the day and wondering where it all went. It forces you to see just how much or how little time you really have for that deep, important work. But you know what? Here's the best part. Learning how to focus, it isn't just about making more money or being more productive. It's actually about building a better, more meaningful life. Yeah, The benefits here are just profound. Neurologically, your brain literally builds your reality based on what you pay attention to. So, a life spent on deep, meaningful stuff just feels more important than a life spent bouncing between a million distractions. Psychologically, deep work is the easiest way to get into that state of flow, which, psychologists say is a key ingredient for human happiness. And then philosophically, it connects you to this amazing sense of craftsmanship and pride in your work. This quote just nails it. It says it all, really. Our attention isn't just a tool for getting stuff done. It is the very lens through which we experience our lives. The quality of your focus directly shapes the quality of your life. So at the end of the day, this is the choice that we all have to make. The world is going to pull you attention towards the shallow, the trivial, the distracting. That's the default. Cultivating depth, that's a conscious act of rebellion. It's a decision to build a life of focus, of productivity, and of meaning. So the only question left is, what will you choose?